Okay, so there's loads going on at the moment, so I thought I'd do a little walk around my place and show you what I've been up to. Okay, so I've not done a video in a while. There's been absolutely loads going on. So at the moment I'm lambing. So this is the field that I was lambing in. It's 6 acres, what I rent off a neighbour, and you can see some sheep and lambs behind me. And what I've done now is I've separated them up. So the ones that have lambs stay in this big field, and I've got a smaller field next to the house. But I keep the ones that haven't lambed, so it's much easier for me to check in the day. And then at night I put them in another pen, which I'll show you in a minute. I've also got the use of this shed for a month. So I don't rent the shed, but my neighbour who uses it a lot has let me use it. So we've got bonding pens in here. So you have one that lambs, and you got some mismothering where you try to steal other lambs, so I can put them in there. But at the moment, this little lamb here, you can see that on the video. He's breathing a bit funny, so just keeping him in. Just giving him a course of medicine, and hopefully he'll get better. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is kind of unedited, so it might be a little bit boring as I walk around. I might have to hide the stick if someone comes around the corner, because no one wants to be that idiot with a selfie stick. And then in here, this is my larger paddock that I own, 2 acre one. I've got 15 sheep left in here, so I'm kind of halfway through. These ewes just means that in the daytime I can just pop out to this field rather than walk around the whole field. That one's got a brook and some of the little hidey holes. This one's much easier for me to check. Although today I did pop off and get some oat for a customer, and while I was gone, come back, I was only gone for a couple of hours. 3 sheep lambed in that time, so they kind of pick their moments. The rest are kind of lambed at night when it's most inconvenient, really. And I've had a few incidents. I don't know if anyone's seen the other videos, but trying to chase them down, and 4 in the morning on the quad bike. How the police never got called, I don't know. And then so over here we've got my little strip of a coppice, which is looking quite good. So I've got hybrid willows back here. I've shoved in a few apple trees as well. Got cider ones up here, the footpath's up this way. No one wants to scrump cider apples. You see a couple more trees up there I've put in. And then further on down in the coppice, excuse me, got bramble on my foot. Further on down I've put some normal eating apples as well. I wasn't going to use the coppice for apples, but I had some apple trees left over that didn't sell. And to be honest with you, we eat that many apples, I can dry them, juice them. It's not like they're going to go to waste here. So it's evening at the moment, so the sheep, in a couple of hours time, just before dark, I'll get the sheep feed, and I'll make a bit of a fuss with the bag, get them so they want to come across, and then I'll bring them into the smaller pig pen, which I've got set up over here. I call it the pig pen. It's made for pigs. I've never actually kept pigs yet. The girls tell me it's next on the list, but I've got enough on my plate at the moment, and I don't really want to stretch myself any further than I already am. So if I show you where I'm getting them at night. So just open up this gateway. So I've gone through here. We've got this little corral that we created with the thought of having it as kind of like a sheep pen. So they feed in here, and then I let them through into this kind of 1/4 acre patch at night. It's got water, a little bit of grass to chew on, and I get up nice and early and let them out after that. And then in the orchard as well, you can see my chicken pen still exists. I need to make it bigger now that the rules have been dropped and stuff. But I've also put in this line of cherry trees, so that you can see those, little cardboard mulch mats, and there's a couple of apricots as well. I don't know how well they're going to do here. They're meant to be a Canadian variety, so I'm kind of thinking they'll do alright. They're ones I grafted myself a few years ago, and I've grown them on in the garden, so I'm looking forward to seeing if they fruit or not. I've also created a few more veg beds. There's 16 veg beds up there in that little garden, but there's nothing planted in there yet, so I won't bother showing you that this time. Whereas in the main veg garden, so I've got all my 10-foot by 30-inch beds. I've got 32 of them in here, and the 2 greenhouses, so they're going quite well. So in the greenhouses, you can see I've got, if we go in here, excuse the stick. So I've got lots of starts. I've got tomato seedlings. There are actually some radishes I've started off, but I've only got a few seeds, and they're for seed saving, so I'm going to be quite careful with those. They're for rat tail radish. I've done a video on those before. And then I've got New Zealand Yams. I'm part of the Guild of Orchid Breeders, so we're breeding these. And I've got some experimental ones that have to be destroyed at certain times, or harvested at certain times. And then the yield weighed. So we'll see how these do. I've got lots more tomatoes and peppers and some tomatillos. And then down here I've got some herbs, some chives. I've got broccoli and some coriander. I've got some more koi rabbi there ready to go in. And in the other greenhouse, which is a bit more, I use my workshop really for the gardening. I've got some onions ready to go in, but they're not actually, I can't onion these shallots. Called zebroon, which are really tasty. Got some different types of salad and basil growing on in little cells. Some more beetroot, chogger. I've got some in the ground, which I'll show you in a minute. I've got some peas, and these are dwarf peas. I've got some climbing peas, and I just really can't be bothered putting supports up and stuff, and I much prefer dwarf stuff. And I've got the space, it's not like I'm short on space. So if I was a bit more tight for space, I'd probably go for climbing things more. I've got some white beetroot to go in, and that's some lettuce. I planted those out this morning under fleece. So we're going to have a look at the garden. I've got one lot of peas in here and one lot right down there. The idea being I can save a seed from them as well. I kind of self-pollinate, so not such an issue. But I'm really pleased with my supports, how well you can see those. But I've just used 8-inch pieces of 8-foot pieces of rebar and just hammered them in 6 foot high, and then strung a load of string across them. The string will biodegrade, the rebar can be reused, and for once it's actually solid enough. I haven't got to mess about bamboo canes or any of that malarkey. And you can see the peas here. See how well they're doing. I mean, they're good 10 inches high in places, so I'm really pleased with those. And all down the side, we've got my cordon apple trees which are in blossom at the moment. If anyone thinks they can't fit apple trees in, I go for cordons. I mean, look how beautiful the blossom is. And then later you've got those apples just sat there, absolutely lovely. And then under this little plastic polytunnel, you can see how well they're doing. I've got some carrots coming up. They're just starting to get their first true leaves. Under this fleece one on the other side, how well you can see that. I've actually got, besides the big weed, which has just all of a sudden come up, I've got spinach in there. It's got a very dusty back from some oak I was moving before. Still eating our purple sprouting. We've got broad beans in there, good 8 inches high. The net's not needed, it's just because it's on that hoop at the time. So, got my garlic, that's the soft neck stuff coming on. That's some carrots planted. I've got a bed of lettuce there. I think that's called can, that one. On the other side, I've got beds of koi rabbi, beds of kale. So I've grown these through plastic, as you can see. I know these are run to seed quite early, but the idea is to have a bit of a kind of late spring summer crop from these, and then I'll put in some kale later on for the winter crop. And I've got a whole bed of red cabbage there as well, a bit wider spacings on those. And then these are the ones I've been messing about with a bit more this year, is the chogger in here, which I started from transplant, so I planted these kind of the early part of March. And you can see how big they are already. So I'm hoping for kind of a June harvest on those. The same with the koi rabbi, all transplants. And I've got another bed of golden, which I'll put in a couple of weeks later. So I'm hoping to kind of spread the harvest a little bit. But be able to enjoy both types of beetroot at the same time. So this is the golden. You can see just a little bit smaller. But yeah, I think transplanting kind of buys you a bit of time. You're not taking up the bed so much in the summer, and then you know, it gives you that bit of a head start as well in early spring. And then this bed here, everything's under fleece at the moment because we're still getting frost. I've got a bed of lettuce. This is called white seeded Samara, which I'm going to grow for the Heritage Seed Library. So the idea is I'll crop out half this bed, leave the other half to go to seed. I'll pull the plastic back and probably put dill or something in the other half, or some herb like that, and then the rest of it can just go to seed. I can harvest it as and when. I've got a couple of beds of potatoes in here and here. This one's got plastic on at night. You can see the potatoes just coming up, so you need to hoe that one. And then last set of peas down here, and again concrete reinforcing bar. And these are Latvian soup peas, so they're a storage pea. So hopefully should be able to grow those, dry them, and eat them over the winter. I'm always keen to try more staples and things like that. So yeah, that's the garden's going quite well at the moment, and it's looking quite weed free. Growing through plastic, not to everyone's taste, I know. But I'm burning the holes in the plastic, which means I get to reuse it over and over again. So I'm hoping to get kind of 5-6 years minimum out of the plastic. Every bed's the same size. Plastic can be used on any of the beds. That's the plan anyway. I've also got a load of cider trees in buckets, because I just didn't get around to planting them. So rather than waste them, I put them in buckets. So I just have to keep watering them all summer, which is a bit of a pain. I've also got lots of them running around. See the cockerel. So I need to do something about those four. Because all they do at the moment is fight, and I think their numbers need to be lessened. Yeah, so that's it at the moment. Hope you enjoyed the tour. If you like this video, please click subscribe, press the thumbs up, leave a comment, or visit my blog. Thank you very much.